Hi Donna, hope all is well. I just wanted to create this quick screencast just to walk you through and talk through just a couple of things that I started to work on for you here. Um, I'm a big fan of doing these screencasts. It's a little easier to articulate for me rather than putting words in an email. And I know everyone gets kind of busy with the schedule, so to do frequent calls, sometimes this saves time. Obviously, we'll have to jump on calls throughout the process, but this will help, alleviate some of that time, and we possibly will have to meet up a few times if that makes you feel comfortable too, or we could, Skype as well. But just for this initial wireframe, I just wanted to talk you through. Okay, so basically, I wanted to bring this up first. This is important. This is not a design. The only reason why I mentioned that, it might seem kind of obvious, is I did have one client one time almost get upset, for lack of better words. Like the client actually thought that this was like a design, like I was going to use gray and blueprint, just the way a blueprint or a set of plans would act for a house. So again, if you look at a blueprint for a house, you're not looking at anything manicured or cosmetics or aesthetics, like what kind of granite you want or what paint colors. Again, this is just where things go on the page, and what this does is help the process. So instead of just diving in and sort of shooting in the dark of what the final design will, or ultimately it's the wireframe for what we'll have on your page. So I think most of it's pretty self-explanatory. I have this little numbering system. So number one, you would have your logo here, which we'll have to come up with something, even if it's just words. I just put this little tight treatment for now, with your name, donnabakeriki.com, but obviously we'll come up with something nice. And I'll get into that in a second on a separate note on how we can come up with some sort of similar logo for your brand or what represents you. So yeah, going through, like, you have your logo. Number two, we'll have your navigation here, which would be like the tabs you click on. We'll have some sort of search feature. Not necessary, but it does help if someone just looking for something immediately and they can't find it. And then this here will be like a rotating slideshow. And I'm thinking we could use that main area to highlight, what you do. We could have a series of your photography, maybe one or two slides of your book, and then other things speaking on your Reiki. I can never pronounce that properly, so I apologize. By the way, another side note, fun fact, is my wife is really into Reiki now. We just learned about it through another couple that we're friends with, and the wife started practicing it for the last 2 years. And we have a 6-year-old son who's on the spectrum, and she's been trying to help him tremendously with, you know, Reiki. So I'm happy. I'm definitely excited to learn a little more about it. We're just touching the surface on it. We just found out about it, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. So anyhow, um, okay, yeah. So basically, there's a reason why I do this formula. Again, we don't have to. This is totally up to you. I'm just trying to provide my knowledge on why I think the homepage should be in a similar format to this. So I like to have what I call featured images underneath your slideshow. So I have one, two, three. There'll be images that you can click on that would get to your main 3 pages that you could also get to up here. By the way, that helps with Google too. If you have what's called a dual entryway link, or 2 ways to get to a page, or even more ways, it helps rank and help you climb organically, like on Google. So if up here you have like about Donna, or just about, and then you also can get there through here, it helps. So again, the other reason why I do three across, that's sort of like a good magic number. Um, Three is just been tested to do well. You could certainly have four or two images underneath your banner, but three, like I've done what's called A/B testing, which ultimately provides two different versions of websites and see which ones convert better, which ones get more clicks. So this is a very popular go-to format. And then going down the page, um, you could see here that this area, you're going to see that I refer to as parallax rows, and I'll show you what that is in a second. So I'm thinking we could have some sort of like a quote, maybe like a Reiki quote, or maybe with a nice image in the background, nice parallax image. I'm going to jump to two recent sites that I did that use a very similar layout to this. that have parallax. So this is an apple orchard. It's actually another friend of John Vargo's, which I received this project from. Um, they are out in Newburgh, and so yeah, this is a very similar format. You can see you have your navigation up here, your search feature, and you have your rotating slideshow or banner. So that's would be reminiscent of what this wireframe looks like. And so, yeah, again, 3 images. You could have several, but just keep in mind that you see how even though I have this huge screen, and I purposely do all my sites so the images will respond and blow out to whatever size, whether it's a 62-inch TV or a little phone, but you have to stay within this dimension, which is from here to here, or from here to here, which is 960 pixels, because again, if you were to emulate the size of a laptop, which is about that size, you could see what happens. So that's why I stay within that range. And it looks silly if you kind of have these kind of move apart. So it's just like a common formula. So if you're wondering, I don't know what size screen you'll be viewing this on, but you'll see that certain things lock within that 960 width range, even though I have things scale out and blow up the whole screen just to aesthetically look more pleasing. So let me show you what parallax is. You can see like you see how like these words kind of rotate on a different plane or dimension, like as you're scrolling, it kind of masks and reveals part of the image. Let me show you actually a better one. This is another site I did for a guy who works on engines and motors. I think it's a better example of parallax. It's just a nice way to show movement on a page. They add some bells and whistles. People used to use something called Flash, which no longer works on phones. So you could see like we have these pictures of the photographer on this project was really talented, but he took all these pictures, and you can see how when you scroll, these images sort of mask and reveal, and the words move on a different plane. So that's what parallax is. So a lot of my clients seem to love it. Again, it's a nice way to show movement and depth to a page. So when you see me refer to parallax rows, that's what I'm envisioning here. So we would have one of your photos in the background with a nice quote or words on top. And then I'm not sure if you want to eventually do like a e-newsletter. This site does not have one, but I think Lawrence Farms does. So yeah, you can see here we have like a little email capture. So I'll explain that more down the road. Basically, we could compile emails, people that are interested in following what you do. You could send them out weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever you want to do. We could use MailChimp, Constant Contact, or you could just use email and just group them all in one email. There's a lot of ways, but in the meantime, we should start compiling them, and I'll show you how to access where those emails go. It'll be a list in a database. So that's what I have here as well. And then I have another parallax row with kind of like a sign-off quote. But you might want to do something else. You might want to have a row of testimonials. I just did that on another site where the testimonials rotate through. Actually, I think I did that here on Westchester Crankshaft. So yeah, you can see I have these little testimonials that sort of rotate through. So maybe you want to do that instead of like a sign-off quote. So there's a lot of options. So ultimately, it's up to you what we want to have in this page. This is just a recommendation. But I am a fan of doing the big hero banner that will fill the screen no matter what size screen. You can see this guy too. Like no matter what size screen, it responds. Like this would be a phone size. So like you can see, you get the hamburger icon, which that's what those 3 lines are called. That's the new universal symbol. What happens is on a phone, you then click that and the buttons become big and chunky for your thumb, so it's easier to navigate rather than trying to like zoom into these guys. So that's your current site actually has the hamburger icon constantly, which people are doing that nowadays too. I'm a fan of showing the tabs on desktop and laptop and iPads, and then once you go to mobile size, then you get the hamburger icon. It sort of responds, and you can see everything responds like these 3 images, 1, 2, 3 across. Now when you go down to the size of a phone, now they stack 1, 2, 3 down, and that's what responsive coding is. And Google loves that. They're actually docking sites that are not mobile responsive, but your current site's all set with that, but that will be included. So that's basically my plan for your wireframe. You can go through it. I'm also going to send you a like a creative form so we could come up with some sort of symbol or logo for your identity. It's a very quick form. It's like 5 questions, and they're very basic questions, such as what colors do you like, or what colors do you want me to explore, and then it has more abstract questions like if your company or organization were to be a musical instrument, would it be a violin or an electric guitar? Again, some of these questions might sound silly. Some of my more meat and potato clients, if you will, they kind of like, well, when they see that, they're like, what is this? And it's not really helpful for them. But just from talking to you, you're a photographer. You sound like you're more of a creative person that might articulate what you're looking to do better through this form. Then feel free to answer the questions. You don't have to fill out the form, but if you think it'll help, it'll help me for the website look and feel and for your logo. To be honest, it just has those types of questions, and then it also has a question at the bottom like, what exact words do you want in your logo? Is it you want to just have Donna Baker, Reiki, or what? Do you want to have a symbol, maybe like a leaf or something that shows growth or something like that? So I'll send that form in a separate email. And feel you don't have to fill it out if you think it's helpful to articulate, or if you'd rather just talk me through it and jump on the phone or a Skype call, we could do that as well. So I think the logo will be the next step. But in the meantime, take a look at this wireframe. Let me know your thoughts on what my proposed idea is. The next phase is just to set up a design for you, like just actually like build this out with the logo, with your actual photos, with a color scheme. So this is a blueprint for what the plan would be for the homepage. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you want to jump on a call to move forward on the next steps, we can certainly do that. And again, just be on the lookout for the logo questionnaire. And again, it's not a must. If you think it's helpful, you can fill it out. All right, hope all is well. Thanks again for signing up with me. I'm really excited about this project. I'm especially excited to learn more about the Reiki services and what it's all about. So look forward to working with you. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions on this. This is my proposed wireframe for the homepage. Okay, thank you.